Hey Mustangs! Welcome to Metea's Editorial Album Review podcast. We're going to be discussing some popular albums of 2019. I'm Bella Myers, and I'm going to be talking about Billie Eilish's new album.
I'm Alexandra Guckel, and I'm going to be talking about Khalid's new album.
I'm Marco Rivera, and I'm going to be talking about Igor by Tyler, the Creator. Okay, so, me first, yes. Igor is like the fifth new album from Tyler, the Creator. And it really shows him reaching a new sound that we haven't heard before. I'm pretty sure neither of you are into Tyler, the Creator, because he's more of a hip-hop artist.
Yeah, I tried listening to him for a while, and then, it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's similar to a lot of, the artists that I listen to, but he's just not my favorite.
Yeah, and since his first album, and Goblin and Wolf, Tyler's really, changed sound-wise. He's one of the most complex rappers in terms of, how he's changed his sound over time. And we really see how much he's changed with Igor, where he presents an album that's more 70s synth pop influence than hip hop influence. It still has a lot of hip hop, but still, it's in the middle.
What would you say your favorite song is from that album?
Probably New Magic One. It has a really nice bass line and some really nice chords mixed with some really really rough vocals, which Tyler's always been this sort of spastic guy, and before he was a lot more unfocused, but this time the production is so good, everything sort of flows together so well that it creates this really touching experience. And a lot of people have been comparing this album to his last one, Flower Boy, which was one of his most critically acclaimed albums. And I don't think it's really fair to compare the two, mostly because one is more hip-hop influenced, the other is more, Pharrell type beat influenced. And I don't know. If I were to pick between the two, I'd probably pick Igor because it's the most consistent album quality-wise. And all of its songs they flow together so well. They all have some really nice production, some really nice synthesizers. It's just a really good album.
Okay, so on to Khalid's new album called Free Spirit. I really think this is an interesting album because it's similar but yet different to some of Khalid's other albums, like his American Teen album. In this album, he has a lot of songs that have a variety of rhythms, I guess. So some of his songs are more upbeat, some are more mellow, and it's a really great transition throughout the album because it sort of goes up and down. Some people think that his album isn't as good as his American Teen album, but I think that it is as good because a lot of his songs are very complex, and they also, like I said before, they're really fun to listen to. It's also sort of interesting what Khalid did. In a lot of his albums, he has sort of similar patterns that he follows. In his last album, American Teen, he had a song called 18, and then Free Spirit, he has one called 21. So it sort of shows how he's grown as an artist, and it sort of reflects that in his songs. One of my favorite songs in his album is actually Alive, and it's pretty much the slowest song in his album, and I just think it's a really good song because it's so different from the other ones, and he sort of really shows how good of an artist he is through this song. So yeah. So Khalid's also done a collaboration with Billie Eilish. Their song was called Lovely, and actually it's one of his more famous songs also, because both Billie Eilish and Khalid are they're both successful artists, and the fact that they did a collaboration together was really interesting. So Lovely was more of a slow song, like his other song Alive that I was talking about. And it's a really interesting song because Khalid and Billie Eilish are both pretty different singers. So Khalid is more mellow, and Billie Eilish definitely has a different style, but both of their sounds sort of flow together, and it creates an interesting pattern and rhythm.
Yeah, I think that's a good flow to start talking about Billie Eilish. It's kind of surprising because that song came out in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And it's still one of her top 5 songs. But yeah, so her new album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, was literally so good. It took kind of a while for me to get used to all of her songs because when you compare it to Don't Smile at Me, her 2017 album, it was really different, especially since she was so young and now her voice is like more matured. So it was definitely a different vibe, and I think she really got comfortable with her music. But I would say that my favorite song on there is Wish You Were Gay, just because her voice, and and Zanny and some of the other ones, but those specifically just because her voice is so soft, and then like all of a sudden this like aggressive beat or like bass comes in the back and kind of like takes over, but you're still able to like hear her voice. I don't know, it's just a really cool like vibe, I guess I want to say. But she actually recently just posted on her Instagram a snippet of a song that isn't released yet, but it is on YouTube. If you look up The End of the World or Would I Could I Make You Happy, it would come up on like BBC Radio or something. And I've just been listening to it nonstop, and I don't know why, but I have a feeling that it's going to be released the day of her concert, June 9th, and I'm actually going, and I'm so excited to finally see her in person because I've been there since like 2016, 6 Feet Under.
Right.
Love all of that. But yeah, I think it's crazy how popular she got so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's only 17.
Yeah.
She's so young.
Yeah. And like she recorded Ocean Eyes when she was like 14 or 13. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like I obviously heard about Billie Eilish like last year and stuff because like everyone was talking about her and like she was like riding the peak of popularity.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to her EP. I thought it was okay. I mean like I didn't really get the hype that much, and like I was still interested because I saw a lot of potential with her voice.
Yeah.
Because like it's really unique compared to like most other artists right now.
Right.
And I felt that this album was kind of like her showing that she was what everyone was saying she was, and like it's a good album. It's like she finally embraced her own voice. She's embracing a new sort of style that's her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And the fact that like from like each song on the album, it just jumps from like a really soft into like a really intense, and it's like just one song's really soft, then really intense, and then like it's just crazy how she's able to like do that.
Yeah, it's like a really cool contrast and like makes it really interesting to actually listen to because
And like the production on it is also really well done. You mentioned it, but like the way her like soft voice kind of contrasts with like the really heavy bass line sometimes. Yeah.
And then the fact that like her and her brother, like her brother will harmonize with her, and then they like honestly, I think she said, and like I watched like her videos like talking about some of her songs, like Zanny was in her song Zanny, she's actually, it is about drugs, but it's not promoting drugs. It's talking about how she's like the only sober one, I guess. And so the bass comes from her wanting you to feel what it's like to secondhand smoke. And then, like, she was talking about how her voice wanted to be, like, as smooth as silk as, like, healthy lungs. And then, like, that crazy bass that comes in is the secondhand smoke that is entering your lungs and, ruining your health and stuff like that. But I find it so interesting that she's able to produce that with just, like, her brother. Yeah. And, like, that's it. And, like, how they were homeschooled and they just, like, kind of taught themselves everything that they know now. And it's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, so another new group, I guess, that I just sort of started listening to was Surfaces. I actually heard a lot of their songs, like, through YouTube intros and things like that, but they actually have a really good way of creating songs. I feel like they use a lot of, like, technology in their songs to create a lot of their sounds. And
it's very Hawaiian.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it has, like, a really good, they have a really good flow throughout them. And they're just really upbeat songs. So yeah, I just started listening to them. I think they're a really cool band not band, sorry, cut that. They're a really good group if you like someone like that's sort of upbeat and just will cheer you up. Yeah, they have really nice songs, so.
Yeah. On my end, if you're into sort of like experimental hip hop or like even industrial stuff, Interior Surf's new album, their self-titled album. It was very good. It's kind of weird if you're not into this kind of stuff, but it's very rough. It's very, in your face, but it's got a lot of good songs, and it's an acquired taste. But if you're into it, you'll like it.
Yeah, and for me, I don't have a specific artist or specific songs, but if you have Spotify, I use Spotify. The Study Break playlist on Spotify, made by Spotify, is pretty much my whole playlist right now, just because it has so many good I keep saying vibes, but pretty good vibes, if you're driving or hammocking, I don't know, or enoing, whatever the heck you kids do. I would definitely try that out because it has a good variety of all this stuff like Rex Orange County and New Rome and 1975 and Wallows. I guess a lot of the underrated artists that are going to Lollapalooza that I know are about to go get popular, so I would definitely go listen to that playlist.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you guys will listen to some of our favorite albums and songs or whatever playlists. Good luck on finals and have a good summer.
Bye.
Mustangs.